Hey there, so this is Owlchemist Tarot, serving tarot straight up, and this is the mini reading for career and money. So I went ahead and pulled a couple cards on TikTok already, so if you want to go there and follow me because I push a lot of content there. The two cards that came out, the Nine of Wands for career and the Devil card for money. So before I get into the cards, if you're new, welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. Please subscribe so when you see videos, you'll be first to know when they come out. And if you're a return sub, I always appreciate it. Thank you so much. So the career, we got the Nine of Wands. For some of you, a couple messages here is that a lot of you are closer to your goal than you think. And this is the card that sometimes you want to give up, but you have to remain steadfast, okay? You have to keep pushing and persevering because, again, you're so close. And sometimes, when you're in the thick of it and you're stressed and you're frustrated and you're dealing with really hard deadlines or very frustrating clients or, a lot of personalities and things just don't seem to be going right, at the end of the day, you're closer to making, progress than you think, and you just have to stick with it. And it might feel like there's some stagnation or you're at the mercy of someone or, it's challenging, but understand that you have to keep going. Now, the money card, we got the Devil. So for some of you, this is certainly, where you feel like you're always a slave to money, that there's never enough or you're always chasing money. The Devil card is, again, indicating something that has power over you, where you feel powerless and something has control and you're always kind of at the whim of, this thing. And it could be, money and the fact that maybe, there's some maybe deep-rooted subconscious things that your relationship with money is very strained and maybe you're only realizing that now. And some of that could be coming from childhood stuff. Like, I certainly remember hearing money doesn't grow on trees and you have to work hard for your money, but not necessarily, not always. Money should be working for you. It's just being smart and strategic. So let's go ahead and pull some more cards for both of these. Okay, so for career, let's see what's going on. And again, for some of you too, this could be where you're looking for work and it's really frustrating because you've been putting out so many resumes, reaching out and haven't heard anything, but don't give up because, again, you never know when a position's going to open and you never know when somebody's going to respond to your email. So don't give up hope, okay? What else is going on? What else is going on? Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay, so I think people are looking at your so on LinkedIn is coming to mind because like everybody searches for people on LinkedIn nowadays. But people are checking like your social media or kind of finding your information. I feel like your profile is getting views and looked at, but maybe you just haven't heard back yet. But this is about, being, again, steadfast but stable and being grounded, okay? Because I know in the past when I've been frustrated that things haven't been immediate, it's like I've always been chasing things and it's always eluded me. So instead of chasing, kind of sit back, do everything you can and let things start to come to you. The Queen of Pentacles is, a strong money maker. There could be an opportunity coming in, someone, maybe a female in a leadership position could be reaching out and saying, look, hey, there's a great position for you. And it's going to be worth your while because there is a little bit more money attached to it. So the Four of Pentacles is the wealth card. It's very much, obtaining a level of, status and, being comfortable with that. And yeah, sometimes it can be like you get to that point and you're just like, okay, no one touch it. I've worked really hard to get to this point, and that's okay. But, at the end of the day, this might not be a traditional role. The Hierophant, this might be with a startup company. This might be with a tech company or, 50 employees or less or something like that. Because the Hierophant is traditionally, if you see my dog, traditionally known or energy connected to large institutions, right? Like big corporations. And, maybe you've been in a corporate role and you're like, you know what? I'm done with that. I'm so tired of that shit. I don't like the red tape. I don't like the politics. This could be kind of a non-traditional company or position that gives you a little bit more freedom and lets you bring your personality to work a little bit more. don't get worked up. Don't overthink and come into this negative, mentality, because ultimately you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's, going to unfold. So just try to stay positive. I know it's hard, but nothing's probably helping you when you're staying in a negative mindset. Sorry, but I don't see how that's even possible. Stay positive. Now, for some of you, this is, in regards to maybe a client or, deadlines or hard projects. Again, don't give up, because things are going to start to shift and move. And this is sometimes just a little bit of, sometimes it's some inner work and some lesson. Maybe you're being asked to have a little bit more patience, and that's really hard for you. But again, if you can be very, mature and calm, and, the Queen of Pentacles just has this very like nurturing type of energy and very understanding. And, again, a lot of times when it comes to like the professional sphere and the environment, most of the times everyone is trying to accomplish the same thing, right? How they get there is always very different. But a lot of the times when you get frustrated with people, sometimes you have to take a step back and say, you know what? Ultimately, we're trying to do the same thing. We're trying to accomplish and get the same goal, achieve the same goal. But so maybe just being a little bit more understanding, and also bringing that really, educated and smart financial perspective too, because the Queen of Pentacles is all about, having that really strong business acumen and knows how to make money, and, understands a balance sheet and gets the numbers, gets outside of it and can explain it in a very easy way. That's a talent, by the way. I don't know of many CFOs who can, explain numbers in a very easy, digestible way. So if you have the ability to explain something very complex into something very easy to understand to the normal person or the layman, that's a talent and a skill in itself. Again, I think for a lot of you, you're going to achieve and hit a milestone. It's just probably not going to be maybe in the traditional sense. So be open and don't think negatively, because if you get into a negative mindset, you're only going to attract more of that and more frustration and more stress. You already have enough outside influences that you can't control. Don't bring that into your, inner temple here and try to, make madness, make sense of madness. Okay. So there's only so many things you can control. You're also being encouraged to do your research, really focus on things. Maybe there's a way that you can help or add value or add a solution. Maybe you're going to have to go back to the grindstone and really, comb through, data and, information, and have to look and make sure you have all your stuff together. That way, when you pitch or you present, it's like, hey, this is where I got this from. And, there's a pattern or there's trends. But again, for a lot of you who are looking for a job, I'm telling you, start to get out there. Use social media as, a platform to boost yourself, to leverage yourself. Make sure you use keywords in your resume. Everybody knows what to do, but make sure you really are methodical and strategic, not just doing things at a whim, okay? Because it won't help you in the long run. Really think about what you're doing. All right, so let's go ahead and pull some cards around the money area, which is the Devil card. For some of you, you might be having to spend, or like if you own your own business, you're having to take on a lot of expenses right now for a client, and that can be really stressful, right? So kind of look at it as the long run, and not what you're just spending. If it's gonna get a good client and you're able to sign somebody and it's worth it, it will even out, okay? So let's see what's going on with the Devil card. Why do we have this energy around the money? Why do we have the energy around the money? Okay. Well, I accidentally pulled two, so we'll just... I feel like there's some debt for some of you that you're not able to get like a good handle on. Maybe there's been some unexpected expenses, some things, delays, or like maybe you're waiting to get paid from a client, or maybe you're just getting somebody owes you money and it hasn't come in. There's been some delays and things, so it's really frustrating because like debt is starting to mount up, or bills are starting to mount up, your expenses are, and your balance sheet is really off because it's like, I'm not bringing in enough right now to clear out some of this that I need to. There could have been some unexpected travel that you had to take where you're just like, look, God, this is like, I put it on my credit card and I just paid my credit card off. But the King of Wands, so sometimes when this energy comes up around the money, it can mean that you're being very, sometimes, excuse me, lavish isn't maybe the right word, but very kind of nonchalant when it comes to like personal spending. I feel like it's not so much some of it might be business for a handful of you, but I feel like on a personal level, you might be overspending or you have overspent, and maybe it's been a little bit like showing off a little, or, you know, maybe you wanted to kind of big this year on gifts. But the King of Wands is a very like, you know, see me type of energy. This represents Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries. You know, the King of Wands reminds me a lot of like Leo energy, which can be very much like likes to be in the spotlight, likes to have people notice them. So maybe you've gone out, you know, with friends and you paid, you know, for quite a few rounds of drinks, or maybe you paid for a really big dinner for a party, or whatever the case is, or it's on me, it's on me. And, you know, not that that is not a nice gesture, but sometimes you lose track of like what you're actually spending your money on. And before you know it, you have like a $400 bill and you're like, whoa, where did that come from? And you're kind of in the hole. So I kind of get that impression that it's almost like this catch-up game that you've been kind of going through. And again, sometimes that behavior, even though it seems like very innocent and it's not like you wouldn't think twice about it, sometimes it can have some deep-rooted, you know, maybe from your childhood, or, you know, you're trying to like, you know, overcompensate a little bit and to show people that you're doing really well, to kind of give this persona. And that's not for all of you, but sometimes there can be some deep-rooted causes there, right? And I feel like it's, you know, it's like you cannot catch a break. And with the Page of Pentacles, it's like you take one step forward and you take 5 steps back. So it's like, you know, you make a little headway and all of a sudden you're like, oh, great, I have to use my credit card again. Or, oh, great, now I have this bill again. Or, oh gosh, this came in. Or, you know, it's kind of like this never ending. It's this like fight. It's this circular, there we go. You know, chasing your tail kind of a thing. Like you're always running in circles to try to figure out like, how do I get out of this? You know what I mean? So it's a little bit of this in a rat race in a way. I can't even speak, and it's not even Mercury retrograde. I've used quite a few animal analogies. The thing is even though you might be waiting on some payments, you might be waiting to get paid, or maybe you're waiting for your bonus to kick in, or, you know, you're trying to kind of offset and like take more control over maybe the debt that's piling up and the bills that are starting to come in. At the end of the day, you have more power than you think. The Magician is a master manifester. So, you know, it could be where you might want to take a step back and figure out, okay, well, if I have a certain lifestyle that I really like and I want to keep that and maintain it, maybe I need to think of a side hustle or a hobby that maybe I can start to make money off of, or, you know, are there some things that I can get rid of that I, you know, like subscriptions, or, you know, do I really watch all those cable channels, or, you know, do I actually read this, or do I need this? You know, maybe you can kind of start to look at certain things that you're almost paying for, not, you know, unknowingly, and start to save some money that way. Also, you know, the Magician card is also about really making nothing out of something, right? Or something out of nothing. I'm so sorry. Like I keep trying to catch my words. So the Magician is, again, really looking at ways to be creative and figure out how you can like make money doing, you know, not putting so much effort in, and not, you know, being so strenuous, and not having to like create an entire company. Maybe there's some things you can sell on Etsy. Maybe there's, you know, maybe you can go on and do tutorials, and maybe you can go on YouTube, or whatever the case is. Maybe there's other ways that you can start to make money. Affiliate marketing seems to be a big one nowadays. But with the Magician card also, this is about having confidence. This is about actually being responsible and taking a look at your finances and what you need to focus on. You know, what are the credit cards that you need, that you can pay off immediately? Get those out of the way. Start to make a little bit of a plan. This is not like, don't wing it. Really focus and get more control over the situation. Because I think when you start to map things out, and I feel like writing things down is really important so you can kind of visualize and see what you need to focus on first, you feel like you're going to have a little bit more power back, right? Because a lot of this, the Devil card, this energy is like I said before, it's kind of almost illusionary. It's not that you don't have power or control over the money you make or over yourself, but sometimes it feels like you're always at the short end of the stick, or, you know, that money's always tight, or you're always like, you know, left with so little, and you need to kind of take a step back and look and figure out why. Because when you're rational and you're logical and you can write things down and you can see it and you can get a better handle on things, that's when you can actually gain control and power back and start to actually make moves and, you know, make things happen and create other avenues or income streams that you can, you know, give yourself a little bit of breathing room, okay? So again, I feel drawn to pull one more card around the money. Interesting. Yeah, you know, there are some deep-rooted things going on with money, and it could mean that you just need to take a step back and really, you know, figure out what makes you nervous around money. Why is it like a source of contention, or why do you have this combative relationship in regards to finances? You know, and it could again be something that, you know, is very much in the subconscious, and things are starting to kind of come up because every time you feel like things are going sideways in your financial area of your life, it's like, stop and identify, why are you triggered? What makes you uncomfortable? And this is about facing things head on, okay? Because if you don't face it, it's going to continue and you're going to face the same cycles over and over again, and that is not fun. Life is a lot smoother and a little less stressful when you have more control over your financial situation, okay? So let me just pull one other card, kind of overall what's going on, possibly. Okay, we'll just take that one because that flew out. Three of Pentacles, a lot of hard work, but this is also about partnerships too. So this tells me that some of you need to put the ego aside and actually ask for help. There's nothing wrong with asking for help, asking for guidance. If it's a financial matter, go to a financial advisor or your broker or whoever, or your bank, and ask, hey, my accountant, what's going on? I need help. How do I get from here to here? This is my end goal. How do I do that? You know, realistically, make a plan. Don't feel like you have to take this on yourself, because there's a lot of smart people that really are experts in this and can help you easily, right? For career, again, you're not having to do it on your own. So partner with like-minded people who can get you to that next step. If you're looking to grow in your career, don't get frustrated. You might have hit an obstacle or a roadblock. That doesn't mean that you can't make it to that next level. You know, get some mentoring, get some coaching, you know, find people who are driven and motivated like you, you know, like versus like, right? So, but it's all about teamwork and partnership. Don't feel like you have to do these things on your own or alone. You don't. And there's a lot of people in your corner who want to help. You just have to be brave enough to ask, okay? So thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll talk real soon. Hopefully my speech gets better in the next video.